is a limit to how long you can hold me to the agreement that I'll pay your living expenses if you go to college. You've been in college now for 10 years. How long do you expect me to stick to that agreement? And besides, you're only carrying 2 units, and those 2 units are the same 2 units you took last summer that you screwed up and didn't properly pay with your credit card, so they're making you retake the course. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, being a parent is really challenging. Running for President of the United States is easier than being a parent. Now, you remember the song about kids? What are we going to do with them? Why can't they be like we were, perfect in every way? Remember that song? I think it was Damn Yankee was the show. Well, I got to tell you, when I'm dealing with my 2 kids, it's Damn Yankees all over again. I got to give you some examples. This generation, the Y generation, they tell me that they are the most educated and smartest generation in history. And I go, they're what? They're the smartest generation in history. Why? Because they have access to the internet and they can learn anything they want on the internet. Oh, it means you can research on the internet anything you want. Now, in my book, just because you know where the information is doesn't make you smart. What makes you smart is when you read it, analyze it, and can apply it. And until you apply it, you don't know shit. Pardon me. My son says, when my wife says, I want you to come down and help me on the apartment building. I'm having some big problems. We got a flood, and I'm having to drive an hour to get to the building, and I need your help. And he goes, I don't want to do that. Hire somebody. He's reminded that he's getting a check every month, and he doesn't have a job, and he's only working, and that he can help us out. It's called exchange. You ever heard the word exchange? I do for you, you do for me. This isn't in the Y generation vocabulary. The Y generation is 50% unemployed or underemployed after they come out of college. So they are the most non-working generation I've ever heard of. So Aaron says, I don't want to do that. It's too far. I don't want to drive. I don't want to do this. That was the first time. The second time I get, nah, I'm not doing that. I said, you know, you're supposed to inherit this apartment building someday. If I can't get your help in taking care of it, and your mother, this is a lot of work and more for him, I may have to sell this building because it's hard for us to take care of it from Seal Beach. You know what this boy says to me? Are you threatening me? You hear it? I'm threatening that if he doesn't help take care of this building, it won't be there for him. Is that a threat? Or is it a fact of life? That if we can't take care of the building, I don't have a choice. What is my brilliant son who can learn anything he wants when he needs the information on the internet? What is his brilliant solution is? Hire a property management firm. I think I hired a property manager to handle a house I had in the year 1843. And what I found is when the guy didn't pay the rent on the 3rd day or the 4th day or the 5th day, the property management didn't get around to giving the 3-day notice because the money not coming in wasn't coming out of his pocket, it was coming out of mine. And I realized that the golden rule, the man with the gold rules. And people don't spend people are much more generous to spend your money than they are to spend their own. And they watch their money much better than they watch my money. So I got rid of property managers, I manage my own buildings, I interview my own tenants, I do everything. And I hire people to do repairs, and then we watch them. But Aaron is saying, I don't want to do this. But I said, get a job doing something else. And he says, oh, I can't get a job. I put in 3 resumes last month. And then I find out about this. And they tell him about all his friends, and they have jobs. And, well, he'll need advice, he'll go to his friends. He won't go to his father. One of his friends works at a body shop. I said, do you know that I am a business broker that sells more body shops than anybody in the United States? I know a lot about body shops. And being an accountant, I know about the profit. And he goes, oh no, my friend knows this. He knows how to do this. So his friends are his opinion leaders. And his father is just an old fogey whose job is to do one thing.
Drop dead.
Pay for the boy. And when I drop dead, to give him the fruits of my labor. And he thinks this is okay. He doesn't think he has to exchange. He doesn't think he needs to do anything for me. And then when I read about this Y generation, the millennium, they also call them the Peter Pan generation. They don't get it. He says, I can learn anything I want. But there's one thing he can't learn on the internet. And can anybody tell me what that one thing he can't learn on the internet? Responsibility. Yeah, that's good. Anything else?
How to deal when you don't get the check from Dad.
Oh, yeah? Anybody else?
Accountability.
Okay, that's good.
Work ethic.
Work ethic. Yes, we're getting close. Experience, which is worth ethic. They can't get experience on the internet. And I went to school and I studied real estate and I read about a word called positive cash flow. You ever heard about that? It's in the books. It's on the internet. And you know, I've owned a lot of real estate in California. I've been in real estate for 40 years. Do you know I have never in my life ever seen positive cash flow in California real estate? So my son is going to experience negative cash flow from his father when the check doesn't come. Mr. Toastmaster.